Things to know about an AA meeting, part two, more meeting information. Still new to AA? Still curious about what's going on at meetings? Great. Part two is meant to continue the guide to help you kind of understand what's going to happen at a meeting, what the etiquette is, maybe decode some of the weird sayings you've heard or seen. Just going to learn more about the meeting when you go. Let's break down a meeting, the flow and the routine. You'll find that once they do an opening and they do a topic and they share and they close, you've basically been to a meeting. Once you get done with a meeting or near the end, the chair may say, please forget all last names as you leave this meeting. This is because you never know who you may run into out in the regular world. And please do not ever share the personal details of someone's share with someone else. Also, a good time to talk about closing. When they get done with a meeting in most areas, they will finish by asking everyone to circle up and do the Lord's Prayer. Now, you do not have to participate in that part. I've seen people kind of stand in the back and meditate quietly during that prayer. So, again, this is a spiritual program, not a religious one. So be prepared if you find reference to God or higher power or some sort of spiritual part of people in the program. If you've been going to your same meeting for more than 6 months and have not traveled outside of your zip code, you're a zip code AA. You are stuck. I would suggest that you consider the flexibility and openness to grow your personal experience by going to a meeting you've never been to before, especially if you can round up two or three other people. It's a lot of fun. You can travel down or up or over to wherever you're going, stop and have dinner beforehand, some fellowship. Go to a meeting, meet some new people, be that new face at the meeting. You may hear something you haven't heard from anyone in a meeting in your zip code. Okay. I know I'm sounding preachy. I'm not trying to. But let's go ahead and switch up again. Let's go to looking at some of the sayings. And these, man, these can be a bone of contention with people. They love them in the beginning and they hate them after a while. Things like halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Fake it till you make it. These simple platitudes are really powerful when we first get into the program and I gave up total control and was giving it over to a higher power and I needed something to kind of give me a little bit of a guidepost. They weren't mile markers. They were kind of like those signs on the highway that tell you that there's a hotel or there's gas coming up. Maybe there's a rest stop in the next 2.5 miles. Oops, that one's closed because they're doing construction. But I mean, that's all that is. They're just trying to give you markers that you can go and say, I get it. I get just this one simple thing for today. And that's all I need to do. Circling back to etiquette at a meeting as you're in it, sitting there in a chair. Hey, please silence your cell phone. It really is frustrating, and we're all guilty of it when it starts going off and it's somebody's choo-choo whistle or it's a country song or something along those lines. Just please silence your phone. Also, avoid crosstalk. Come on, guys, gals, ladies, everybody. Can you refrain from chitter-chattering once the meeting starts? How hard is it? I know you've heard the traditions 1,000 times, and I understand that you want to talk about the end of the ball game or the new set of tires you put on. But really, once the meeting starts, the meeting starts. Pay attention. It would be really appreciated by those of us that are trying to concentrate and get settled and get centered for a meeting. Respect the space that you're in. If you know that they set up chairs and tables ahead of time, would it kill you to show up 5 minutes early? If someone brought treats last week, would it kill you to throw an extra bag of Chips Ahoy in your cart when you're shopping this week? How about staying late? Maybe pick up a chair and ask if you can help. I mean, it's the little things like that. It's just etiquette and being respectful, and especially respectful of the hall or the church where you're meeting. Make sure you're not throwing trash into the parking lot. You're picking up after yourself. I mean, just the general stuff that you would want your mom to say, yep, I raised a good kid. They know how to clean up after. Back on listening and sharing. You're going around the table. You have a great subject. and the guy right in front of you or the lady two in front of you says what you were going to say. Oh my God, I've been thinking about this for six people. I mean, come on. I had something really cool to say. It was important. And how could, oh man. Yeah, we've all been there. And it happens. Why? Why does it happen? Because we've all read the big book and we're not tragically unique. We're all the same. And when it comes to our recovery, there's a certain textbook and we've all worked it. Duh. But again, if you hear a great share and it's really something you thought you were going to say, you can either agree and pass or maybe riff on it a little bit. But please, please, please don't just regurgitate the same thing. Again, we're trying to give everybody at the table, and if they're sitting on the wings, a chance. Brings up something that is a pet peeve of mine, and I know this is probably starting to sound more like a bitch session than a podcast, and I really don't mean that. All of these opinions are things that I've seen over the years in my time in the rooms, and I hope that if you've seen them too, you recognize them, and we can all kind of say, yep, we really have a couple little pieces of housekeeping to do. I am of the opinion that if you sit at the table and it's a discussion meeting, you should go around the table first, and anyone that sits on the sidelines by choice or because they got there late would get their chance to share if we get around the table. I have been in meetings where they go off to the corner and everybody at the side table gets to share, but those that were sitting at the table did not. All right, we've rounded third. We're headed for home. You got done with the meeting, and someone taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, man, why don't you be our new GSR?" And you're like, been here a couple months and I'm getting good with my program, and I found a sponsor, and boy, they like me in the home group. And okay, sure. Oops, you have now taken on the job that everybody loves to hate. What is a GSR? General service. It means that you get to go to the district meeting once a month and learn more about AA. My personal time as GSR was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it because I enjoyed getting to understand the nuts and bolts of how our program works. And you're looking more from the finance side when you become a GSR. You also get to bring back all the information on things going on in the district or at other meetings, balancing the budget, those types of things. This can be incredibly rewarding or phenomenally frustrating because what happens when you give alcoholics money or control or any combination thereof? This is not hilarity ensues, boys and girls. This can be utter chaos, and I've seen it in meetings. I've seen meetings where everybody was just about ready to take care of a $3 receipt, and the one person raises their hand at the end, and total chaos ensues, and they have to table it to next month because they need a committee to look into whether or not that $3 should be paid. All right, that may be just a little bit exaggerating, but no, seriously, there have been some times when I just kind of threw my hands up and said, really, people? Become the GSR if you haven't done it. Everybody has done it once you ask. They have all done it. Learn a little bit more about our program, how it works. We are a bottom up structure. And by that I mean we are an inverted triangle. We do not let the people at the top make our decisions for us. We choose how AA is formed and continues to grow by its meetings and districts and the people who get involved at the and vote. Hope you've enjoyed this little deeper dive. Hope you give me a little bit of leeway because some of it did kind of sound a little angry, but not really, just given my experience, strength, and hope in getting to a meeting. Hope to see you at one soon.